you can change or modify the handles, you can do anything you like, right? So you can just make blunt selection and then refine it later. Whatever your style is, you can just move forward. And this is one of the cleanest ways of making a selection when you have hard edges. Okay, doesn't work good with hair or other fur, something like that, but when you have hard edges, this is the way to go. Okay, see, here we have a sharp turn. So how do we make the sharp turn? Hold the Alt or Option and click on this. That way we will be able to make the sharp turn. Similarly over here, have a look. If we just simply click, you will have this round, which we don't want. So here's what I would do. Before clicking here, hold the Alt or Option and click on this once. This breaks half of the handle in the direction of the path, and then you can make it. Similarly over here, hold the Alt
Secure
or
the
Option,
bombs.
click on it again, it breaks, it just takes away the
Deploying jammer.
My artillery is on.
10 seconds to insertion.
Good, save that, James.
Setting C4.
Bomb locations are secure.
Can someone make
Stay clear of ADS line of fire. Radar is activated. Place device.
Can someone help me here? They will breach.
Op 4 found a bomb. You must defend it. A bomb has been located by Op 4. Op 4, last stop standing. You will be detected if you leave this area. Op 4 eliminated. Mission successful.
handle from the right hand side or in the direction of the path, and you can just begin to click here and go forward. Now, I'm not going to bore you with a complete selection. I already have made the selection for you. So if I go to the paths, I have this saved, the car selection. Now, how to save a path? Very easy. The path that we are working on is called the work path. And if you want to save it, simply rename it. And we will name it anything that we like, just car trial. Okay. Now it is saved. Now I already have one with the complete car selected. I'll just click over there. And as you can see,
No, Kate, no! Bro, rotation
Damn it,
up
boy.
here.
Be advised, a bomb location has been compromised. Down to 10 seconds.
Wall's done!
5 seconds left. Bomb located by
Yeah,
Op 4.
claws on!
ADS up and running.
Activate the center. Road is under.
You can stop worrying about grenades now.
Swapping mags! Cover me, reloading!
Op 4 is defusing a bomb. You need to disable their diffuser.
Where is info, man? What the fuck?
Pick him up.
Diffuser located. Disable it. Last operator standing. All friendlies were eliminated. Mission failure.
What?
See, the car is completely selected, and I'll right click on it and choose make selection. We don't need any feather right now. Make sure it is 0 and hit OK, because we're gonna add softness to the edge later anyway. So hit
Vehicle protector. Adding the protection from grenades.
Wall secured!
Go on, Jama.
Camera activated!
Activate Jama.
10 seconds left.
Electro clock is on.
5 seconds left. Be advised, a bomb location has been compromised. Op 4 has located a bomb. Be ready for hostile action.
Reloading it.
Deploying ADS. You can start worrying about grenades now. Perimeter defense online.
4 has located a bomb.
Mark it online. Adding overwatch.
Swapping!
Op 4, last stop standing.
Go up, man.
Last operator standing. All friendlies were eliminated. Mission failure.
What? Just gi- Just give him some fucking kills. Maybe on your screen, bro.
Hit OK and it makes a selection. Now come back to the layers and then click on the mask button. Just like that. And now you have the car selected. Now the best part about masks is that everything is recoverable. So if you want the shadows back, so I'll just take the brush and with the mask selected, I'll just paint this area with white. So you'll get those areas back. And that's the greatest advantage. However, if you have put that on a new layer, it would have been destructive. So keep up with the masks because that is non-destructive. Now just drag it and drop it on that document, just like this. And here you have it ready. Now let's resize it and place it in the right place. But before we do that, let us determine which is the right place for this car. Let's turn this off and let's create a new layer, and I'm just
Setting up a sequential breach.
Wait, this.
Brace for it! Contact. Office. Cover your ear!
Yes, I've got the wall.
Activating Selma sequence.
First cam.
Sequential breach.
Last operator.
Stairs,
Cam on
stairs.
side.
Ping, ping, ping.
Op 4 neutralized. Mission successful. We need to locate a bomb.
Third cache.
Be advised your drone has located a bomb. 10 seconds to go. Insertion in 5 seconds. Proceed to bomb's location and defuse it.
Setting up a sequential breach.
You have located a bomb.
Lights on. Sequential breach activated.
Drawing a few couple things, just scribbling something. All right, let's have a look at this. So this area is out of focus. This area is blurry and the car is sharp. We cannot place it over here. Okay. This area is somewhere we can place it. This area is sharp, this particular area. We can place our car here. We can place it here as well. But if we place it here, the direction is opposite. You see, the direction is this way. Okay. But the car, have a look at the car. So the car is in this direction. So we cannot put it over there. So this is going to be the right place for the car. Let's just delete it and let's resize the car and place it over there. Press Ctrl or Command 0 to fit the canvas to the screen, and then press Ctrl or Command T and hold the Shift key. Drag it from the corners to make it smaller in proportions. If you hold the Alt or Option along with it, it will make it smaller from the center, which is cool, right? This size is okay. Let's zoom in quite a bit and place it in the place where we decided it to place. Okay, this looks good. Let's and make
Op
it
4
bigger,
eliminated.
like that. Bring it to the side, and there we go. Something like this, and it looks fine. Now, some of you might have an objection. Why am I placing this car in the left? The thing is, in India, we drive on the left. inside. Maybe it's different in the US. Actually, it is different in the US and some other countries. So I've had a habit of just, okay, because that's what I do. Just hit enter. You can place it on the right, but I don't think it will fit on the right, will it? Probably. If you want to place it on the right, you can place it over here. Just make it smaller. You get the idea. Let's go back.
To locate a
Now,
bomb.
and anyway, the road is empty, so nobody cares. Now it's time for us to create a shadow for this car. And let me show you one very interesting technique to do that. Make a copy of the car, press Ctrl or Command J. The one on the bottom, name that shadow.
Oh, I
this
think
will
they're
work
down
as
now.
shadow. And the one on the top, this is
Combine cat.
okay. Now in the shadow, click on the mouse and
Yes,
just
ma'am.
zoom in. Press Ctrl or Command
Yeah.
plus and zoom in and take the brush. And that's why we
Drone has located a
created
bomb.
Make sure the foreground
10
color is
seconds
white.
to
Now what is the
insertion.
concept of mask? White shows up, black hides. Make the
5
brush a
seconds
little
before
bigger by
insertion.
holding the alt option. Right mouse button, drag it to the right to
Found a
make it
bomb.
bigger.
Make your
On
way
the
to
left,
its location
make it
and
smaller.
defuse it.
If you're using Mac, that would be option, control, and then drag with the right.
You must recover the diffuser. The diffuser has been secured.
Loading new mag.
Activating.
Time to make a new door. Go in live.
Four last operator standing.
Plant.
Set.
There was cam there.
Shotgun strap, be careful.
Op 4 eliminated. Friendly mission success.
Right mouse button. So let's reveal some shadows. Let's paint in some shadows, reveal some. A little extra is okay because we're gonna erase that anyway. Okay, that is great. We just want to keep the shadows. We do not want to waste the shadow which is already there. Why? Because if we create the shadow, no matter how hard we work, it's never going to be as natural as the original shadow. So how do we just keep the shadow? Well, you can take your time and try erasing it with black as the foreground color, but that's not going to be accurate. Let me tell you a way. Let us look at it in this light. What does the shadow do? It makes things darker. So if I hold my hand over here and if there's a light, it will make that area in the table darker. No matter how dark the table is, the shadow will always be darker than the surrounding areas. Okay, got that? What if we say to Photoshop, keep everything which is dark and hide everything which is bright, as you can see in this case. And we can do that by using blend if. So double click on the right hand side of the layer and take the slider of the current layer from right to left. Just like this. As we do that, the bright areas are going away. What that does is that it hides the bright areas of the current layer from the current layer. Make sense? No? So if we move the slider of the underlying layer just like this from right to left, that will move the bright areas of the underlying layer from the current layer. It will take it away. Are you getting it? So if we move the slider from right to left, it will hide the bright areas of the underlying layer, which is the road of the background, from the current layer, which is that of the shadow. However, if you move the sliders of this layer, it will take away the bright areas of the current layer from the current layer. Just like this. Just play with it and you'll understand it if it's not clear to you. This is okay, but this is very harsh. This is perfect selection. So hold the Alt or Option, click on the slider, this splits the slide and makes the transition smooth like that. Okay, that looks wonderful. And okay, that looks really nice. Now once you're satisfied with this, hit OK. And there you go, you have the shadow. But have a look at the shadow, it has some texture in it. Why do we have the texture? If you go back to this previous image and let's turn off the mask, this road already had some texture. So the shadow brings with itself some texture and we don't want it. How can we get rid of it? Simple as well, just blur it out. Select the shadow layer, go to Filter, Blur, and then Gaussian Blur. And stop at just at the point where the textures go away. If you go too far, you will see a halo effect. You don't want that, okay? So stop at just the point where the textures just go away. 1.8, that is good. I'll go with 1.6, hit OK, and that looks pretty nice. Control or Command 0 to fit the canvas to screen. Now we have created the shadow and the car. Now we need to match the lightness and the color. And here's how we do it. Create a group of both of them because you want to apply the adjustments both to the shadow and the car. Because if you have a look at the shadows in the background, they are pretty faded. They are a little brighter. But have a look here, it's very dark, punchy. So whatever adjustment that we're gonna apply to this, we're gonna apply it both to the car and the shadow. Because we brought the shadow as well from the previous image. So hold the Control or Command, select the other one and then press Control or Command G to make a group. And you can name it whatever you like. I'm gonna name it Car Total. Alright, the first thing that we need to match is the lightness or the brightness, and we can do that using curves. So let me show you two approaches to do that. Create a curves adjustment layer, click on the adjustment layer icon and choose curves. Okay, as simple as that. So suppose you want to make the car darker, you would make it darker, just like this. Now it affects both the car and the background. How do we tackle that? By creating a clipping mask. So click on the clipping mask button. This creates a clipping mask. So whatever you do, it just affects the car. The other way of creating a clipping mask, let's break it, is holding the Alt or Option and click on the line between these two. It also creates a clipping mask. So that's approach number one. Let me show you approach number two. So instead of creating a clipping mask, what if you took it down just like this, you put the curves and the car total inside of a larger group.
10 seconds to go.
So hold the Control or Command, click on this one, press Control or Command,
5 seconds before insertion.
okay? Now change the blend mode of the group from pass through to
Proceed to bomb's location
norm.
and defuse it.
And when you do that, it does not allow the adjustment layers to pass through the group. So whatever you do inside of this group will just affect the car. Or in other words, whatever you do inside of this group using adjustment layers will be limited to the elements inside of the group. That's just an easier way to work with it and keeps things a little organized. Okay, so we can name the whole group car with adjustments. I'm just messing up the spellings. Adjustments. It's difficult to work with the mic and just move the hand around. Oh, all right. So let's go back to the curves and let's make it a little darker because the background is a little darker. Let's zoom out and then let's match, first of all, the lightness. This looks good. Don't worry about the punchy tone. We can work on that later, and too much of saturation, we can reduce that later. Just focus on the brightness. Now let me show you a tip that will help you just focus on the amount of light. And here's how to do it. So create a new layer all the way to the top, a solid color adjustment layer. Click on the adjustment layer icon and choose solid color. And choose any neutral color that you like, white, black, gray, whatever. Just make sure it is neutral and hit OK. Put it at the top and change the blend mode of this one to color. If you have watched my previous tutorial on check layers, this technique is present in that tutorial. This really helps you check the amount of light. Okay, now come back to the curves and work on it. Now you can just focus on the brightness. So if I take it down, it's matching pretty well. Like that. Not too much, just a little bit. And that is okay. I can turn this off, you can just delete it. Doesn't really matter. So we have matched the lightness. Let's name it. Double click on the text and you can name it anything you like. Brightness, lightness, luminosity. I'm gonna name it lightness or light. Okay. All right. We have matched the brightness. Now let's match the color. And we can do that using curves as well. Click on the adjustment layer icon and choose curves again and create a curves adjustment layer. And let's name it color. Okay. Now we will work with channels. Keep in mind the lefts are the darks and the rights are the brights. So if you want to increase the reds, let's go to the reds. In the bright areas, you will click and make a point.
Setting a sequential breach.
Point on the right, drag it up to increase the reds in the bright areas. If you want to decrease the reds in the dark areas, you'll make a point on the left and take it down. Now all we have to do is to analyze the colors of the background and try to match the car with that of the background. Okay, so let's try taking the reds down. Let's see how that looks. Try taking it up. It's matching. Maybe we will increase the reds in the highlights and take it away from the dark areas, as there are less reds in the dark areas in the background. So let's keep it this way. It looks nice. Now let's move to greens. As you can see, there's lots of greens in the car and we need to get rid of that. So let's take greens away from the dark areas and that's gone. Now let's come to blues. Let's try increasing and decreasing it. So if we decrease it, it looks nicer. I don't know why. Decrease the reds, blues, sorry. not too much, just a little bit, and have a look at the before and after. So this is the before, this is the after, matching the color. So before, after. Let's zoom in and let's recheck it. Is the colors actually matching, or was it not required?
Need to use your drone to locate a bomb.
Let's go to the reds and let's increase the reds a little bit. Now the colors are matching, but it's getting a little too saturated. We need to decrease the saturation,
Be advised
and
your drone
then
has
we can
located
come
a
back to
bomb.
this one. So create a hue saturation adjustment layer. Click on the adjustment layer icon and choose hue saturation, and take the saturation to the left, maybe to this number. Now let's get back to color and work these channels. We will increase the reds a little
10 seconds.
and we will decrease the reds in the shadows, just like that. Okay,
5 seconds to
and then
insertion.
come to the greens. Of course we need to decrease the greens.
You
All
found
right.
a bomb. Make your way to its
Use-
location and defuse it.
Adjust it when you like it. Let's make it subtle, and it looks nice. Now we have matched the color and the lightness. We also matched the saturation. Now if you have a look at this image, press Ctrl or Command. Zero.
Enemy spotted. Basement. Setting is the question breach. Rolling out.
You have dropped the diffuser. Friendly, last operator. Four remaining. Fifteen seconds. 10 seconds. The diffuser has been secured.
Left.
Time expired.
Road to fit the canvas to screen. It's lot punchier, which means there's a lot of contrast in here. If you look at the shadows in the background, it's faded, right? It's not very dark as this shadow over here. It has a lot of contrast, so we need to decrease the contrast, and that can also be done using curves. Click on that contrast. So we need to decrease the contrast, and that this shadow over here, it has a lot of contrast, so we need to decrease the contrast, and that can also be done using curves. Click on the adjustment layer icon and choose curves and put it at the top. Now, how do we decrease the contrast? Let's first understand what is increasing the contrast. Increasing the contrast is actually making the brights brighter and the darks darker. That's what it is. So this would be increasing contrast. Brights brighter and darks darker. But we need to decrease the contrast. Decreasing the contrast is making the bright
Don't wait for us to initiate. Clear of blast. Device prime. Keep an eye on door. Throwing jammer. Ambush set. Stay clear.
Loading new mag.
Wall secure. Device prime. Keep an eye on door.
10 seconds left.
Idiot jammer initiated.
Down to 5 seconds.
Deploying welcome map.
Increased surveillance on bombs. Op 4 has a diffuser.
Stop worrying about grenades now.
Initiate jammer!
My artillery is on.
Op 4 has located a bomb. Op 4 has located a bomb. You know what to do.
C4 set.
Last operator standing. One friendly remaining. Friendly's victorious. Hostiles eliminated. Protect the bombs.
I will watch over us. Lock is ready.
Wall's done!
Time to regenerate.
Yes, claws on!
Op 4 has located a bomb. Be ready for assault. Be advised. advised, a bomb location has been compromised. Down to 10 seconds.
Ready.
5 seconds. Op 4 has located a bomb. Get ready to engage.
Barricade on! Loading full magazine! Reload!
One friendly operator remaining. Op 4 has deployed a diffuser. You need to destroy it. Mission failed. All friendlies have been neutralized. Secure the bombs.
Setting up!
Deploying welcome mat.
Deploying jammer.
Be advised, a bomb location has been compromised. Op 4 located the bomb. Protect it. 10 seconds to insertion.
Initiate jammer.
5 seconds.
Jammer deployed.
Op 4 has located a bomb. Op 4 has placed a diffuser near a bomb. Destroy it. One friendly operator remaining. All friendlies were eliminated. Mission failure. Protect the bombs.
You can stop worrying about grenades now. Defense is online!
Op 4 located a bomb. Protect it. Op 4 has located a bomb.
Razor wire ready.
Down to 10 seconds. 5 seconds left.
UE's in place!
Bomb located by Op 4.
Setting up. Welcome message
Unrolling
closed.
razor wire. Setting the turret! Even where I left about grenades now. New magazine!
They're on service desk on A.
Changing mags.
Op 4 last stop standing.
Magnet out. We are protected.
Op 4 eliminated. Mission successful. Secure the area. Keep the bombs protected.
Placing proximity around one man.
Whoa, what the price?
Be advised, the bomb location has been compromised.
Deploying magnet.
Reloading, cover me! The NPZ, plot is on!
Down to 10 seconds.
Razor wire ready.
5 seconds and counting. Op 4 has located a bomb. Be ready for hostile action.
Perimeter defense active.
Laying out the welcome mat.
Doorway secured. Alarm out. Stay clear of the blast zone. Magnets ready. We are now protected. Magnets ready. Check your angles. I need to reload.
Artilla active.
One friendly operator. Mission failed. All friendlies have been neutralized.
Lights darker and the darks brighter. As easy as that. So first of all, let's try to match the shadow of the car with that of the background. So let's take it up just like this. It's too much. Let's find the perfect spot. Now that looks wonderful and it fits with that of the background. Let's make the brights a little darker, not too much, a little. Make the brights darker from here. Make the darks brighter, just like this. And that pretty much does the job. Press Ctrl or Command 0 and let's have a look. Before, very punchy. After, it really does help the image match with that of the background. You can play with it as much as you like. I'll leave it at that and it really looks wonderful. Now the car pretty much fits with the background, but before you give it a green signal, zoom in and have a look and you'll find something. Let's zoom in, and this is very crucial when matching composite. Have a look at the background. The background has a lot of noise and the car is super clean. Also, the background is a little blurry even in the sharpest areas, and the car has a lot of details. It's tack sharp. It seems
recover the diffuser. Down to one friendly. We have been eliminated.
Seems like both of them were taken with a different camera, which they actually were, but we need to make it look like both of them were taken with the same camera. So there's a tool in Photoshop that will allow you to blur it out a little bit and add noise at the same time. And here's how to do it. Let's open up the car, select the car layer, and then convert that into a smart object before we apply the filter, because we might have to change the values later. Go to filter, convert for smart filters, and hit OK. Now you already guessed what am I gonna apply. Go to filter, blur gallery, and then field blur. Now it's so much blur, we need to match the blur of the car with that of the background. So let's decrease the blur. Okay, let's move it and let's increase it just a little bit, not too much. How does 2 pixel look? Is it too blurry? I think it's too blurry. Okay, let's 3 pixel, it's very blurry. Let's apply 1 pixel. Now it's matching, it's pretty good. Let's try 1.4. No, it just shows up integer values or just numbers, doesn't go decimals. Okay, now let's add some noise to it. Let's increase the amount. Down here beside effects and motion effects you have noise. Increase the amount. Make sure it matches with this. So kind of pretty much matching. Let's decrease the size. No, let's keep the size this way. Let's decrease the roughness. As you can see, it's very nicely matching with that of the background. Okay, that looks great. And we don't want noise in the highlights, so we will
5
decrease the
seconds before
slider
insertion.
so that it looks
Proceed to
natural.
bomb's location and defuse it.
Okay. At this point,
Countering their intel.
You have dropped the diffuser.
over here it's not matching so much, so let's decrease the amount like that. This point, is it matching at the top? Not so much, but that's okay. We have to find a balance. Okay, that is looking pretty good, not very bad. Is it matching with this? Yes, it is matching. Let's decrease the size just a little bit, and yes, it's great. It does look great. Hit OK once you're satisfied, and you have applied the noise to the car. Now the shadow has also to be applied the noise, so select the shadow and convert that into a smart object. Go to filter, convert for smart filters, hit OK. Now the shadow is also a smart object. Now do you have to go again to filter, blur gallery, and then apply it again? No, you just have to copy and paste the smart filters to this. So hold the Alt or Option, click and drag and paste it on this layer. So the smart filters will also be applied to the shadows. Looks wonderful, doesn't it? Have a look. Really nice. But still, something is looking odd. You know what is odd? The edges are very, very sharp. And that is looking odd, very sharp. So here's what we will do. We will soften out the mask. But where is the mask? Because we converted this into a smart object, it along with the mask became a smart object. Can we get the mask back? Yes, we can. Just double click on it. And there you have the car with the mask, okay? And you can select the mask and you can directly increase the feather from here. Or if you want to do it custom, what you can also do, you can choose the blur tool and just start blurring it like that, okay? You can do anything you like. You can control the strength of the blur from this area. You can just blur it out a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and add some feather, probably maybe 1 pixel. Yeah, that is great. 1 pixel is great. Looks good. Okay. All right. Now let's save it. File, save, and then close this one once you save it. Now it's saving, and as it saves, it will actually update it in this document. Let's close it. We don't need it. See, it made it smoother. Now the edges are smooth. Wonderful, isn't it? Press Ctrl or Command 0 to fit it, and we are pretty much done. But at the end, do not forget this step. If you want your composites to really match, apply a collective effect to the whole image, including the element and the background. Okay, and you can apply any effect that you like. That can be a simple curves adjustment layer, applying some contrast, anything. Just make sure that you apply an effect to the overall image, both to the element and the background. Okay, let's close the groups and let's add any effect. So we're gonna go ahead and add a color lookup table. So let's click on color lookup and you can choose anything you like. Just scroll through them, choose whatever you like. So everything looks good to me. I think I'm gonna stay with this. It looks wonderful. And we are done. It's done. I would recommend that you take a break. Go somewhere, eat something, and then come back to the image after a while. That way you will be able to spot the mistakes that you normally wouldn't find while editing the picture. Alright? Now, we don't need anything else. It's pretty much done. Now, if you want to go back, you can go back and adjust any of the things that you have to. So this is decreasing the contrast. Just double click on the icon to open up the properties and then just work on it. Hue saturation, anything you like, you can always go back to all of them.